Everybody, what's going on? Happy, it is Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday to you and yours. We're here, we're live for another episode of the Bay Ragni Show, number 101. And we're here, all right, we're going to clear this up right off the bat, too. We're here with our old friend. It's been quite a few years, and I've seen her come and go from the music scene. I've seen her involved in all types of different things that we're going to talk about. But here she is. You might remember her from The Voice, or you just might remember her from rocking around Philadelphia, Gina Zo. What's up, Gina?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. So, all right. So, Gina Zo, you had Zo the band, but we all know it's Gina Castanzo. What are you actually going by? Is it Gina Zo or Gina Castanzo or?
So I'm going by Gina Zo.
Oh,
That's just like my stage name. People like a lot of people do know me as Gina Castanzo, obviously, because that's like
sure.
my real name, I guess you could say. Um, but then and then now I'm in Velvet Rouge.
We're going to get all into
Oh,
that for
dive
sure.
in. We're gonna dive in. But yeah, you could call me Gina Zo.
Okay. See, I was wondering that too. Like, it's a whole thing. Yeah, I was like, all right, Zozo, the band, and everything. And I'm just going to jump ahead real quick, but we're going to go back. I'm just going to throw this out there too. Number one, happy to see you back doing music. Number two, I was also shocked. I was like, because you were like kind of under the radar for a few years. So, what happened to make you go under the radar? Because you were, after The Voice, you were going full force at it,
Yeah.
hardcore. You're putting out a lot of music, singles, videos, the whole nine yards.
Yeah, we were doing like everything under Gina Zo. Like we were going because I was Gina Castanzo on The Voice and then Gina Zo.
Mm-hmm.
We were going really hard for 2 years. And then, I mean, to make it a long story short, I just felt burnt out. I felt like I was doing a lot of work without what felt like payoff for me. I felt
Mm-hmm.
like I wasn't working with the right people on the executive level. It was like
Mm-hmm.
everything wasn't going like I was hoping it would. And music was being released that I didn't like. And it was everything. It was like the whole pie was like awful to me. I was like, this is
Yeah.
not what I want. And as being only, I guess I was 21, 22 when I stopped singing for a bit.
Okay.
And at that time, I feel like I just like never got to go through what I like a normal person would go through. I was always traveling while I was in school. I was
Mm-hmm.
always doing things like didn't reflect what like I was hoping to do. But what I had dreamed of, and I think it was really hard when everyone would say, looks like you're having so much fun. It looks like your life is amazing. It looks like this, it looks like that. And it didn't
Right.
feel that way. And I didn't want to keep doing it. That was it. I just didn't want to. And no one understood why. Like everyone was shocked. And I didn't really tell anyone. Like I told my band, obviously, but like
Sure.
I didn't call you. I didn't call other radio stations. I didn't call like anyone to be like, hey, I'm not singing anymore. I just kind of stopped. Yeah.
So when you say that you stopped singing, did you truly stop? Like
Like
you
I
didn't do nothing like in your own little private world and private
no, like
zone?
I legit stopped. Like I
No
was not.
writing, no nothing.
No, no.
Wow.
I. It sounds like too good, like not too good to be true. That's not the right way. It sounds like shocking. Whatever. Not
Yeah.
good to
Yeah.
be true, bad to be true, maybe. Um, but I remember specifically one day my stepmom was like, "It's really sad we don't hear you playing the piano anymore." And I was like, "Huh." I was like, "It's fine. Like I'll get back to it eventually." But I don't think it processed for me that it had been like at least a year since I'd played or thought
Wow.
about it. Um, and yeah, no, I mean, I would sing along in the car,
Hmm.
but being a musician again was never something on my mind. Um, I completely set that to the side. Like completely, it was not. Whenever anyone would ask me if I was going to keep singing or why I stopped singing, I didn't really have a good answer.
Did you miss it at all or anything? Or you were just kind of, it sounds like you were actually kind of like relieved at that point that you were broken away from that whole scene.
Yeah, I would say I was more relieved than missing it at the time. I
Sure.
don't think that at the time I was really feeling like I even cared. Like I was that burnt out. Like I don't know if you've ever felt that where
Oh
you're like,
yeah.
I'm sure you have because you're like in the industry. So when you get to the point of like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to. And it was so strong that it lasted that long. And the only times that I think that I would ever get a little bit of like hope or like excitement would be when I would go to like a concert. I would go to something that excited me. Like I remember
Mhm.
being excited in that scenario. And so that was the stuff that got me eager. But I remember a few times I did text my guitarist, hey, do you want to get the band back together? But then it was never real for me. Like I would be like, I changed my mind. I'm too nervous. I don't know. I just like, it never happened. And then finally, eventually, obviously it did happen.
So now, what I remember too, I remember seeing you. I guess this was as you were going to college. You were doing, or maybe you made even an announcement that you were like getting all into like I guess like the social media world and fashion and style and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, I could see that. That's a cool thing to dive into.
Yeah, and I did. Yeah, I totally did that for a while. I had a blog for
Photography too, right?
Yep, I still do
Mm-hmm.
photography. And I've been so lucky to be successful in that endeavor. And I've done Fashion Week, and I worked at Joan Shep in Philadelphia for 2 years as their photographer. I put out a journal, which was really amazing. And I did I think in those 2 years, I really did a lot of the self-care work that like I never did before. Like I really dove into that mental health space. I mean, that's when I got a therapist. That's when I'm not afraid to be like that. I'm on Zoloft for anxiety. Like I learned all these things that like I needed to learn in order to be mentally ready to be a musician again, to be able to be the person that I wanted to be. And I think it just took a lot of, well, do I want to do this? Or, okay, well, I'm really good at this. Can I do this? Or I have a great fashion sense. Can I do fashion? And the answer is yes. But like there has always and is always something that's been very, very different when people listen to my music versus just looking at my photos. Like they love my photos and I've been successful, but there hasn't been anything like music for me.
I can feel you on that. I mean, the music. There's just something about music that I guess it speaks to the heart.
Totally. It like pulls at everyone's heartstrings, and I think that when you're watching a musician or you're listening to music or you're just a part of it, immersed in it in some regard, most people can't help but feel very overtaken by whatever it is, happiness, sadness, excitement, whatever it is.
All right. So, what was there any one thing that was like, all right, here's the kick in the ass that's put you over the top? That all right, I'm going to do music again.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, it's funny to say like a breakup, honestly, but I remember I was dating someone. And I had mentioned, and I I don't love when people say no to me, but it does light my fire. And I remember I'd said to him, I don't know, I'm just getting this feeling I would want to get the band back together. It was just like in my heart for some reason. And he said, what about me? And I was like, this is my moment. I was like, this is it. And we broke up soon after. For me, it was a sense of like, okay, like I don't know. It was just like that. It was like that mind body connection of just like, whoa, there's something to lose here on both ends of that spectrum. Yeah. And what feels like something I don't want to lose here. And it just turned out to be music for me. And when I reached out to the band, it was really this is all or nothing. We're going full force and we're doing it on our own terms and we're doing what we need to do, creating the connections we need to create. And it has nothing to do with like the patriarchy or the man or whatever you want to kind of call it. We get to decide for ourselves. And that was my goal when we started back. And I feel like we've achieved that.
That's awesome. All right. So what's the first thing that you did then? So you call the band up and say, all right, let's do this.
So first I call my guitarist. because I know, well, first off, I knew he was going to say yes because I love him. And he's very, very dedicated to being a musician and really wants to be. And I had a pretty strong feeling, like 99% sure he was going to say yes. So he was my first call. My second call was Buddy, who's my drummer.
Okay.
And I also had a strong feeling Buddy was going to say yes, because Buddy has always said that, like, he will play with me no matter what. So I'm like, great, perfect, great. Then I needed to find a bassist, because my bassist had moved across the country. So I needed a new bassist. So it was first to get the band back together. And then the next step was, like, what is our goal here? Like, what are we even trying to do? Like, I know I'm saying I want to be big, or like, but what does that even mean? Like, that means 1,000 things to different people. And so for me, I had to decide what that was like, and what did that mean for them, because they were taking a chance on what they may have known to be unstable, because I quit the band randomly. Right. So can they trust me? I think that was like another part of it, of like, can they be okay with the unknown, I guess you could say.
Now, were they doing music? Your guitarist and drummer, were they were still doing it?
Yeah, so they were both. I don't think that either of them were in original bands in like that middle period. I think Buddy was in a wedding band for a bit. Okay. Joe was in a successful cover group. But I don't think, if I remember correctly, either of them were in original bands in that time. Maybe like small, they were doing something.
Sure.
But they had not been an original band. And when I left the band, because the name was under my own name, and it wasn't technically a band like we are now, they weren't playing. Like, there was no other Gina Zo or like other lead singers to follow.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question right there that I wanted to bring up to you. So before, it was Gina Zo, and then when you brought this back, it was Zo the band. So was it then a band, or was it still like you as a solo artist with your backing band?
So now it's very different. Even when it was just Zo or Zo the band, and now Velvet Rouge, since then it's been the same. We're full-heartedly a band. 100%. I'm still I guess you could say, like, the leader or the front runner, whatever you want to call it, like Adam Levine is for Maroon 5. But we're definitely 100% a band. But they don't like to be in interviews or anything like that, and I don't mind. So I'll just keep doing
it. Well, you have that it about you too. That's the one thing.
Thank you.
That you can see, like, you have that star quality. You're a performer. You're not just somebody that just stands there behind a microphone and that's it. You perform.
Thank you. I think that it sounds like so cheesy just to say that I love it that much, but there is something that feels like an aura that comes over me, like, through my whole body when I perform. Like, I truly feel completely taken away from everything when I'm performing. And I think that that's what makes successful musicians or leaders or whatever it might be in the music world do what they do, makes them successful and be able to do what they do, because something allows them to let go. They just do it in a way that works. And I've had a lot of training as a dancer and different things like that, so that helps everything not go too crazy.
I was gonna say, did you have like any I didn't know about dancing, but like theater training or something like that? Because you can see, there's certain people that have that performance in them, and you think, like, all right, are they involved in theater or what it may be?
Yeah, my whole life, I have loved singing, looking at myself in the mirror, like, with the microphone. It has always been that since I was a little girl. There are videos of me. It's hilarious. I really need to put them up. I'm actually going to put them up after this. We do this. I'm going to put them up so you can share them. They're hilarious. And I've always been that way, and I'm still that way. But I still look at myself in the mirror. But I was a dancer my whole life, ever since I guess when I could start walking, I started pretty much dancing semi-professionally, so competitions when I was younger. And then I did theater throughout, my childhood, up until I did The Voice, and then I did The Voice. So I've been trained in all those things.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys did release an EP last year.
Yep. So we released Dark Hallways last year under Zo, and we released Fire in the Building under Zo, and this next music is The New Era. But we did release 5 songs.
Okay, so The New Era. You guys recently announced, I guess it was last week, last Friday. You changed the name of the band.
Yeah.
First off, why?
I think that the overarching reason above all was that we didn't feel like Zo was connecting anymore with our mission of like who we are. Zo resembles the version of me and the version of us.
Right.
And we didn't get to think about this before any of this, before we even came back together, because it was all a whirlwind. But if I could do it again, I would think about that. I would think about, what does Zo even mean to us? And to me, it was holding on to what I was afraid of. Like, I was afraid to let go of my name. I was afraid that if I wasn't Gina Zo to everyone immediately, if I was a different name to everyone immediately, that they would forget me. Like, they would forget who I was and what I was doing, because I would lose control in some regard.
Sure.
So that was A. B, when we were like, what are we gonna name this thing? Like, what are we gonna do? Because it was important to us that we did change our name. That was like really, really important to the whole entire band.
Right.
And we were coming up with names and ideas. Something that always stuck with me was this idea and this thought that what we were doing and how we were trying to do it was against the norm of what females in the industry have to do to become big, or what kinds of things you have to go through in order for people to trust you, or to say, okay, I agree with that. I believe in that person. I agree with that person. Like, what would I have to do to make it so that you understood who I was? And I didn't want to do those things, and I didn't want to go through what I've been through already. And so I thought about, like, what does it look like? And we were playing around with colors, because I see my music and I see all sounds in color. Like, there's just something weird about it for me. I've always thought that. It's a very odd, perplexing thing, but supposedly a lot of people have the same thing. And red has always been something that's like resembled our music and resembled our entire presence as we are as musicians, as this band. And velvet just so happens to mean the feeling that you get, the person that you are, like, you're a calm, collected person. And then when someone you trust comes back at you, they do something that's untrustworthy, they do something to cross you, you lash out. And this is the lash out. This is the Velvet Rouge, the color that we
gotcha.
So yes. So that's kind of like why we did it, because we didn't feel connected to the name. It didn't work anymore. And we had to come up with something that really connected with who we are. And I think we did a good job of that.
I love the name.
Thank you.
Yes.
I get so nervous. It's so scary coming up with a new name.
Even that did like cross your mind. Not even the whole name change on that part, but coming up with a new name. But your fan base already, are they going to like realize that it's you guys now?
Great question. That was something we had to toy with. And I think that the biggest thing that we talked about was people, when we're Zo, one of the biggest issues with it was also that they thought that it was still just Gina Zo.
Right.
So that was one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of if they're going to know it's me, or they're going to know if it's us, I don't know the answer. What I do know is that I feel like the people who love us so much have been following so closely that they know the change, A. And if they're not following that closely, then it's okay. They were a small percentage of the people. We're still growing so fast and so big, but we're not there yet where I feel like it's going to actually hurt us. There's still so many people to meet and understand our band and our sound that I felt comfortable enough to be like, okay, you know what? if we lose those people, here's what we're going to gain. And it felt necessary, even when it felt scary.
Yeah, I would be totally scared.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely shitting myself. It was pretty horrifying. But I kind of, and it's hard because when you work with, I work with other people. I don't just work with the band.
Mm-hmm.
We have PR, we have producers. When you work with those people, they give you their opinions, and it's not always fun to hear their opinions and them to say, do you know what you're really doing? Do you know the branding changes you have to do? Do you know? And I'm like, I do. And I'm still afraid, but I feel like it's meant to be this way. And they trust you because they think you're professional, but it's still scary. It's scary being young and like having that power to like just make that decision. It's hard.
It's and I think you brought up a good point too, because it's in this day and age of any type of entertainment or whatever it is, it's not an easy thing to change a name, because it's not like, oh, we're just going to change our name and that's it. Because now you have to, there's websites and social media, streaming outlets, all that. I can imagine an utter nightmare.
Oh, yes. I redid our whole website. I had my assistant reach out to all of our press that had previously written about us, the people that have put us on the radio. Like, there are a lot of people that we had to work around to see. And then again, it's the same kind of thing of, I have to count my losses. Like, it's fine. If something happens and someone says Zo, it's fine. I will have them fix it. It has to be okay, because I don't have a choice. But it seems like majority of everyone that's heard the new name is very excited. So I think that excitement will outweigh the little ticks that we might run into of press being a little bit wrong. I mean, it happens, and that's okay.
Absolutely. So now the music itself, maybe it's me, but I think it's gone. It's more rock, a much more rock style, and it's also darker.
Yes. Absolutely. I would say that the first single that we're going to be releasing is just as dark. Then it starts to get a little bit brighter, a little. Okay. But I think that what you're hearing is a lot of the pain that I felt like I was going through when I was writing those songs that you heard, or have heard. And my producers, Brian McTeer and Amy Morrissey from Minor Street, for the next set of songs, they've done an amazing job of encouraging me to not just be aggressive, to not just be dark, to like find the other parts of me that are in there that allow someone to understand me more. Because I think that one of the biggest things is when someone only hears darkness, they just assume that I'm dark. They just assume that I'm not happy or whatever it might be, or I'm just sad or whatever it is. And there's a lot more there, but for some reason I really connect, and in those songs I really connected with a sad person. Even if I don't really, I mean, now I could say that I don't feel sad. Like I'm not a sad person now, but I think when I was writing those songs, I thought that being sexy and angry was like my only persona and the only thing that people would like. Little did I know they would really like the happy version of me or the nice version of me or whatever it might be. And so that has kind of, I think, transferred in the music. Again, maybe not with the first song that you end up hearing, but definitely with the other songs.
You got to find like that happy medium in there somewhere.
Totally. You really do. I think you have to learn to give people a variety and to finding yourself that variety. It's funny, like we just started recording. We were always recording, but we just started recording a certain new song that won't be out for a while, but nevertheless, it's like the first genuinely happy song, like genuinely happy chords, happy words, and not cheesy happy. Like it's not like I'm forcing myself to feel this way. Probably like the first one I've ever written. truly, genuinely happy song. And it sounds so damn good. I it's not gonna be for a while, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
The weird thing though too is like when you see like when you see your videos, and even like when you watch the live stuff I was watching on YouTube from you guys from playing the clubs in Philly, um, you usually for the most part wear like bright clothes, and this so there's like a brightness, but you can also see like there is that darkness too.
Yeah, it's funny. Like our last show, I wore a bubblegum pink skirt as an example. It was like this whole like frilly skirt vibe. That is really funny that you say that. Fashion is like super, super fun for me. And I always love to have fun and do crazy things with it. And so, to that point, yeah, I think that that's just one way that I kind of exude maybe my like inner excitement. And it's funny because I think when people meet me, they don't think like, oh, she's angry. Like I'm not angry. So it is funny to have the songs reflect more of an inner demon of some kind.
Inner demon. So you guys actually it was last week again. You guys had a very busy last week. You guys played Welcome to America concert, right?
Yeah, so that was the 25th of June. We played Welcome America on Broad Street. Yeah. It was
Oh, it's
amazing.
on Broad Street now.
Well, this one was on Broad Street. Now the main 4th of July event might have been on might have been at the art museum, but
Right.
I guess that the core of the other performances that were going on were on Broad in front of City Hall.
Gotcha. Huh.
Yeah.
See, I'm out of the Philly loop to a point.
You
Things
don't
have
even know
changed.
but there was a bunch of weekends of the event and we were the first weekend. There
Okay.
were 2 weekends and we were the first weekend.
And you guys did a double header that day too. Then you played the Kyber that night.
Yeah, we had never played Kyber. It was so dope. The show was amazing. The crowd was insane. I can't tell you how exhausted I was though. By the end of that, we have been nonstop. We just filmed the music video, tons of studio time. We did the doubleheader. We have another doubleheader in 2 weeks. Last week we had a show. This week when we finished filming our music video, we're just so crazy busy. It's unreal. And I'm very, very happy about it. But it's a lot. And it's exactly what I signed up for. I quit my regular full-time job about 2 months ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and to pursue music more full-time than I was before. And I committed to myself that like I was going to go full throttle. Like I had to for myself. Like I had to make that choice. And ever since I did that, I have held true to my promise. But there are days when I'm like, what am I doing? But I'm not getting to the point of the burnout again. I won't allow myself to get there again. But
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But that's that's something huge because I've like with my before I started doing this show years ago, but the stuff I was involved with, whether it was pro wrestling or music, that was something that I really started to realize, mainly in the pro wrestling world, that the people that were able to do just that, quit that day job and pursue it full time, those were the ones that made it to the next level and did it.
Because they're willing to take those chances that a lot of people are not willing to. They're willing to say like, I'm going to be really scared and I'm going to set it to the side for a little bit of time. I'm going to give myself some like an extension of a period of time that I feel comfortable doing it. And it's never easy, but I do agree that those are the people that end up getting big. And I think that a lot of times though, you knew before you quit the job that it was possible. Like you know that, and people told you it was all possible. So I think that I have felt, and I think those people have also felt a sense of like support on their back of like, okay, they're telling me it's okay. Like my parents were like, it's okay. Now, I know a lot of people's parents don't agree with that, but thankfully mine were very supportive. I could still pay my rent with my job I got. So that
Nice.
was what was important.
So we have, I'm going to pop this up on the screen for you.
Yeah.
Patrick, great seeing you perform at the Avenue of the Arts block party.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. I do remember Patrick. I think he had posted a picture of us. So thank you so much. It was really, really cool. That was the Welcome America.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now, how about what is or another question?
Mm-hmm.
The Recording Academy. You were at a Recording Academy party. They welcomed you. What was that all about?
Yeah. So that was insane. So I was nominated to be a part of the Recording Academy, the voting body of the Recording Academy. So that means essentially that in some form that I vote for anything in the Recording Academy. Now, what will that become? We will find out. I'm still very new to this. But even before that whole thing happened, I've been so lucky that Deanna Williams, she used to be a president of the Recording Academy. She was in radio.
Okay.
And so she has really taken me under her wing, and I'm so grateful. She invited me to that event. That was awesome. Again, technically before I was inducted or whatever you want to call it, nominated to be in the Academy. And the day that I was accepted into the Recording Academy is also the day of the event, just so happened to be. So I was able to have both experiences, which in general, like everyone there was so nice. I can't even handle it. Everyone was so happy to have new members there and to talk to you and to educate you on like what you should expect, what tips they had for you. They wanted to know about the band. And that was one of the first times in a little bit where I felt like, oh, like I can make it. Like I have people supporting me. And I've had those moments before, but that was it was just a big one. I think another one was when we sold out Kung Fu Necktie in Fishtown in January. That was a moment of like, okay, I can totally do this. We just killed that show. We just sold out the show. So that was also another really big, amazing moment that I felt super sure of myself.
Now that's what I wanted to say. I was trying to remember the name of that place. I was like, I know where it is. I'm picturing it. I've been there, half dozen times or whatever. So that's something too that's different too. Like you're exploring all these different clubs that I don't think you would have, your first run.
No.
These are the dirty punk rock clubs of Philly.
I don't even think they would have let me in the door, frankly.
Right.
I don't think they would have let me in the door at all. But I think that one of the key differences is that we're doing it. Like we are making these choices. I am personally emailing and Instagram messaging and walking into the establishments of all of these places that before I felt like, oh, they're supposed to do this. Oh, they're supposed to do that. Like people I was working with, they were supposed to do it. And I wasn't doing it because I didn't think I was supposed to, or I was told I'm not supposed to.
Right.
And I've learned that allowing myself to be the person that people get to know, like off the bat, I am the contact, or my assistant's the contact, or the people that I chose to trust are the contact, has allowed us to make a really good impression of I'm welcoming. I want your sound guy to be happy. I want your promoter to be happy. I want your bar back to be happy. Like I want everyone there to enjoy their night when we come to the place. And I don't think that I know that not every musician does that and doesn't make everyone feel good. And so by being that person and by being able to promote shows myself, being able to guide my band and doing it, we've just allowed punk venues to feel comfortable accepting us. Like they probably look at me at first and are like, maybe she's pretty, but like, what's her vibe? Is she gonna be able to bring anyone?
Right.
And I get it. I mean, I truly do get it now that I've been in the scene a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, I get why you would think that. And not every venue's opened their arms just yet, but I am. It's so funny because I wouldn't say I'm aggressive, but I'm a little bit.
You have to be.
I'm like, hey, I just want to like send you the reminder Just want to give you a reminder that I'm here. There's a couple venues I'm really, really wanting, and I'm just gonna keep pushing my foot in.
That's what you got to do. You just got to, keep knocking and keep knocking and keep knocking, and eventually
Oh,
they'll
eventually they
open.
gotta open the door because they're like, stop bothering me. And I'm like, what?
Well, not only that, I mean, all you really, in my opinion, should be saying is, we sold out Kung Fu Necktie.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do. Again, there's just one venue. I'm not going to say the name, but there's one venue. I'm like, please, please, please let me play a show here. I will sell it. I tell them I'll sell out the show. I already sold out other shows in the same area.
Now, I'm going to throw the name out there. I have no idea. I'm just going to take a guess. You don't have to answer. You can answer it off air. I'm just going to say Dobbs.
No, it's not Dobbs.
Okay.
Actually, I'm playing Dobbs end of September. I think it's end of September.
Okay.
So no, not Dobbs. Yeah, end of September. I'm playing Dobbs.
Oh.
Ooh, kitty!
Hello.
Hi. Oh my god, so cute. What's her name?
Sam the cat.
Oh my god. Hi.
Always has to jump up when I'm doing
That's
this.
perfectly fine. So
Yep.
cute.
Yeah.
No, it's not Dobbs. We're playing Dobbs in end of September, so I'm super excited for that.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised they wouldn't jump on it after you're playing over at the Kyber, selling out Kung Fu Necktie.
Oh so yeah. No, we're good there. We got that venue down. I'm excited.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Cool. All right. So what is the next plan now? What's your next step? You guys are recording.
Yeah. So I have a announcement on. Hold on. I gotta pull my calendar. I usually would have these dates memorized, but I'm okay. July 15th. We have an announcement coming for a new song.
Okay.
This is our era. Well, again, as I said, it's our era with Brian McTeer and Amy Morrissey from Minor Street Recording. So it's completely like we were already what I would consider to be extremely professional and amazing and everything, but they have taken us to a level that I haven't seen from anyone at my level, like at my size, I should say. Yeah.
Okay.
Truly, this is like unmatched. I think it's incredible. Everyone that's heard the music is very excited. It's amazing. So we announced our first release in the new era of Velvet Rouge on July 15th.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love you have all these announcements. It's good. Builds hype. It builds the hype.
I know. I like building hype. I love just kind of getting also to like share my life and share like the details of the recordings and the details of the songs and the things we're doing with everyone. And so I'm super, super stoked about all the content we have that's coming out with this. We're doing the same people who did the Cry and all the things I can do video are doing the same video.
Oh, sweet.
And
okay.
Holy shit. This is going to be unreal. Like you guys don't even know. It's so good. I'm
can't wait.
Excited. It's dope. Like I take pride in the content that we put out. And so like if it's not good content, it's not going out. I can't wait.
All right, so there's an interesting question here that I'm curious to see if there's an interesting answer. So,
okay,
what is the most unusual venue you've played?
Ooh, okay, most unusual venue?
Yeah, I don't know if there's been any goofy ones along the way.
I'm trying to think of like a weird venue we've played. Like we've definitely played in my time, like your street fair, of course. Okay. I can't call it unusual though, because that's kind of normal. I've totally played like a backyard party. I played a bunch of backyard parties, acoustic situations. Unusual though. Hold on, it's coming. When we were on tour, when we were Zo, we played in a bunch of different cities. And again, they were all bars, but I don't think I would say any were unusual, but they were all super cool. Like a lot of them, the funny thing about like underground bars that will allow touring bands that are like basically nobodies to come into their place.
Right.
They're all kind of like smell like they're in a basement. All kind of like have that like You know what I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah, of course.
Dust on the floor is because it's a basement, like basically.
Your
But
feet are sticking to it.
yeah, and actually I remember this one did have like a giant looking wheel, like like the wooden wheels that are actually for like maybe like wire or something, like for the power lines. But nothing too unusual. Unfortunately, I cannot say I've done anything extremely unusual. I mean, when I was at my last label, I definitely did my fair share of like I was the only rock or pop singer in a group of rappers. So like that would be like the only thing that was unusual because my label was R&B. So that would be like the furthest I would get to unusual, but otherwise nothing that crazy.
So, all right, so then let's go the other direction. What's your all-time favorite club to play?
Okay, well, I loved Kung Fu Necktie. I know, not just because I sold it out. We're actually playing there again in October, but
It's a cool place.
It's amazing. It's so cool. I've loved going there before I even played there as just like a bar goer. So I love that venue, and I love Dave who runs the venue. He's amazing. In terms of other places, we're playing the Queen in Delaware. We're opening there in end of August, and and it was a long time ago I played there, but I remember being there, and it's unreal. Like that venue is insane.
Yeah.
Unreal. And I got to play World Cafe Live for again the first time in like forever, but this time for like a legit show. And I did that on June 3rd, I think the show was. And that was equally amazing and fantastic. But I think there are just so many more that I'm excited about playing. But there's a lot of venues I haven't played before that I will be playing. Like Kyber was very cool because the crowd was so cool. I've never sweat more in my life. I was so sweaty.
My old band back in the day in the 90s was banned from the Kyber.
Oh, no, why? Oh no.
We had gotten at one point we were banned from every club in Philly.
Why though?
There was a lot of
was it mosh pitting or something?
There was a lot of it was crazy. A lot of we brought a lot of
people they didn't want there, basically.
No, they didn't want us there because we were the crazy ones.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah,
definitely not getting kicked out of venues. I really hope I don't ever get kicked out of venues.
Yeah, I don't think you would.
No, not yet. But there's just so many venues I'm really excited about getting to play in the future. And there are just so many opportunities in Philly. It's crazy, but we'll see.
Absolutely. Well, Gina, this has been great catching up. I'm glad to see you're back.
I know. I'm so happy to be back, and thank you for bringing me on. I'm so grateful. I just can't wait for this again. Like this new era of the band is so incredible, and I feel like we have a really stacked team. And I'm happy to see that you are one small part of our team. I'm so grateful.
Absolutely. So, all right, where's the best place for everybody to go to find out about you guys and stay up to date and be ready for that big announcement on the 15th?
Yes. So you can go to our website, velvetrougeband.com. And actually, I'm going to pull up my phone because we got a new Instagram. And so I want to make sure it's right. Okay. At Velvet Rouge Band. It's the same on Instagram, on Twitter. We are launching a TikTok. I'm scared. Facebook.
That's a whole nother world.
Don't get me started. I'm not excited. I asked my little brother today how much I would have to pay him for a TikTok strategy. And he said no. He said he wouldn't do it for me. But he just got like 100 likes on some stupid video. I'm like, I can't. These kids.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. But anyway, so you can find us there. July 15th, we have a big announcement for you, which I cannot wait. It is a new song, so please come and hang out. And throughout July 15th till the song releases is some insanely cool content, giveaways, the whole shebang.
Nice.
And we have a show July 16th at 118 North in the evening. Okay. And we play Love City Brewing in Coatesville, Pennsylvania in the afternoon. So it's a free show if you are broke like me and just want to have a beer.
The whole world is. So
exactly. So you could come to either one.
Exactly. Gina, this is great. Congrats on everything, and I'm looking forward to the 15th on this big announcement.
Thank you so much. I look forward to chatting with you more soon.
Absolutely. Keep in touch.
Thank you. Bye.
Talk soon. Bye.